A vast majority of our planet lies hidden underwater, with only a pitiful 5% of the seabed explored. Can you imagine the secrets still lying there? I'll show you the most mysterious and incredible findings discovered to date, from resort cities thousands of years old to an amazing ancient computer, whose mystery even modern scientists cannot unravel. And at the end, you'll see the strangest find: human skulls, but of a very peculiar shape that will surely surprise you. Let's start with an entire city that disappeared underwater just 60 years ago. Xicheng, also known as the Lion City, rests at the foot of Wuxi, where 5 lion mountains loom over the Thousand-Island Lake. During the Eastern Han Dynasty era between 25 and 200 AD, Lion City shone in its glory, becoming the political and economic center in the eastern province of Zhejiang. Only ruins remain, which didn't attract much tourist attention. In 1959, a decision by the Chinese government to build a new hydroelectric power station caused the city to be submerged underwater. For nearly 60 years, this historical monument was forgotten until Chu Fang, an official in the local tourism department, decided to look at what remained of this sunken city. He was astounded by what he saw. The entire complex of buildings, shielded from wind, rain and sunlight, with its temples, arches, cobbled roads and dwellings, along with ancient beams and staircases, seemed even better preserved than on land. Dust and sand washed away by water, bas reliefs and gilding shone with new colors. As you can guess, it's now a popular tourist attraction. This underwater discovery is truly mesmerizing. In the unique Mexican cave Cenote Angelita, something astonishing was found: an underwater river with its own banks and vegetation. It's actually an optical illusion caused by a Heracleion, a peculiar cloud of hydrogen sulfide formed from decomposing organic remains at the bottom of the cave. This phenomenon separates the salty seawater from the fresh groundwater seeping below. As a result of this grandiose chemical reaction, a stunning effect is created. It seems that divers swim inside an underwater river, though they're actually in the same water. The light refracts differently, and the water appears murkier, creating a visual riverbed. But believe me, this is far from the most amazing thing I'll show you today. In 1986, a local diver from Yonaguni encountered an unusual spectacle at a depth of 5 meters: mysterious rock formations of an incredible size, as if someone placed an alien monument at the bottom. Over time, it turned out to be an entire complex covering about 2.3 square miles of space. Some of these structures reached up to 100 feet in height, presenting stairs, roads and terraces. All this inevitably led to the thought that they were created by intelligent beings, not just natural formations. Various researchers have tried to determine the age of these objects, some dating them to the 3rd millennium BC, claiming that the complex was submerged as a result of a huge earthquake. To date, no one has been able to definitively confirm or dispute this version. But sometimes discoveries truly horrify. Somewhere in the protected Himalayan mountains, at an elevation of 16,500 feet, lies Roopkund Lake, which frightened scientists. In 1942, a British patrol stumbled upon a startling sight. The shores of this lake were strewn with the bones of many people. Since then, scientists have tirelessly tried to unravel the mystery of these skeletons, seeking to understand their history. The study of the remains led to the conclusion that at least 600 to 800 people were buried at this site. Recent research involving the analysis of 38 skeletons from the lake revealed that some of them are up to 1,200 years old. However, on average, many of the found remains left this world about 1,000 years before us. Interestingly, DNA analysis indicated the diverse origins of these people. They had roots in various parts of the world, including South Asian, contemporary European, and even ancient Greek genes. This mysterious amalgamation of cultures and origins only leaves more questions unanswered by the world's best minds. In 2010, off the coast of Florida, an astonishing discovery was made. Jay Miskovich, an adventure enthusiast, found a huge cache of emeralds underwater, worth over $500 million. Can you imagine Jay's face? However, as you can imagine, the state also took an interest in the find, as you can't just hide something like this. Journalists and TV crews swarmed in, followed by government representatives. Fortunately, the man managed to keep the find for himself through a court decision, but he received a ban on reselling the gems. However, the question of their origin remained open. Then events took a very unexpected turn. Exactly 3 years after this discovery, Jay Miskovich, who faced enormous financial problems, committed suicide. A few weeks later, experts found out that the emeralds were a kind of forgery. Not that they were artificial, but laboratory tests determined that they hadn't been underwater for decades. Later, specialists figured out that Miskovich probably bought these emeralds in a jewelry store and staged a spectacle for money laundering and simultaneously increasing their value. When authorities imposed a ban on sale, he tried to find ways to sell them, but no one dared to get involved in a court case. That's why Jay decided to radically end his problem. The Antikythera is the oldest known computer in the world. This unusual artifact was discovered in the Aegean Sea. The mechanism is considered one of the most important findings of the 20th century, revealing ancient Greek secrets and demonstrating how advanced the Greeks were in science and world exploration. This unique mechanism turned out to be the Antikythera mechanism used for calculating the movements of celestial bodies and predicting astronomical events. This discovery caused general astonishment and became undeniable evidence of the high level of scientific achievements of the ancient Greeks. The lingering question remains, how did they come up with this incredible device? Here's a sad find from the modern times. In September 2013, 2 old cars were discovered at the bottom of Foss Lake in Oklahoma, each containing 3 corpses. After forensic analysis, it became clear that the bodies in one car belonged to 3 teenagers: 16-year-old Jimmy Williams, 18-year-old Leah Johnson, and 18-year-old Thomas Reyes, who disappeared in 1970, going for a car ride. In the other car were the bodies of 69-year-old John Porter, 42-year-old Claiborne Hammock, and 58-year-old Nora Duncan, who disappeared in 1969. All 6 people drowned. According to experts, likely the driver in both cases lost control, resulting in the cars falling into the lake. The people inside the cars couldn't escape and died from drowning. This tragic story was repeated twice over 2 years, and no one could find the missing until the lake's bottom was accidentally surveyed. But not only remains or objects astonish, sometimes you can encounter unusual living creatures. In 2019, during scientific research at the bottom of the Mariana Trench, scientists were amazed to discover something incredible: shrimps encased in steel armor. These creatures are some of the most exotic inhabitants of the ocean depths. Although researchers classify them as amphipods, such individuals have never been encountered below 15,000 feet. These unique creatures inhabit the deepest part of the Mariana Trench, known as the Challenger Deep. This area plunges to a depth of up to 7 miles, and without special protection, the amphipods wouldn't be able to survive there. They have the remarkable ability to produce an aluminum shell that protects their skeleton from pressure at such depths. In 2015, a diver diving into the Colorado River suddenly noticed something strange: a pair of skeletons sitting in chairs. The frightened man immediately reacted, calling the police. Police divers were sent to the scene and retrieved the mysterious figures from the water, only to discover that the skeletons were made of plastic. Apparently, it was an underwater installation created by a prankster or an artist. But imagine what the diver who found this pair felt. He probably didn't appreciate the joke. Now let's talk about the most valuable underwater finds. In 1941, the SS Gassoper cargo ship was sunk by a German torpedo in the Atlantic Ocean, carrying tons of valuable cargo. At first, it seemed that it would remain underwater forever. However, in 2010, American scientists from the company Odyssey Marine Exploration were allowed to search for the sunken ship. In 2011, they found its remains, along with the precious cargo. Scientists managed to recover 52 tons of silver in the form of 1,203 ingots, which was only 20% of the total silver aboard the ship. In 2014, the Royal Mint released a 50-pence coin cast from silver raised from the sunken ship's depths, as a tribute to the vessel. Ancient Heracleion, often mentioned in historical books, always remained just a legend from the past. The city's main seaport received and dispatched ships heading to Egypt. Heracleion flourished, and its inhabitants were known for their intellect and education. However, in an instant, everything changed. An earthquake took the city underwater, claiming lives and taking wealth and treasures with it. For 2 millennia, Heracleion remained hidden, its existence only speculated by scientists due to fragments of writings. Eventually, it was discovered just 2 miles off the coast of Alexandria in the Abu Qir Bay. The city sank entirely into silt, but the temples and numerous statues miraculously survived to this day. This discovery became a true archaeological wonder, revealing amazing secrets of the ancient past and allowing us to learn more about the culture and life of those times. Shipwrecks always make a historical event, as a vessel usually remains underwater for hundreds of years. They serve as unique witnesses to history, helping to unravel mysteries of past epochs and events that occurred many years ago. One such astonishing place is Chuuk Lagoon, located in the Caroline Islands in the Pacific Ocean, north of New Guinea and east of the Philippines. This site is where the remains of many Japanese ships and aircraft destroyed during World War II were discovered. The incredible find, known as the Ghost Fleet, was featured in a film by Jacques Cousteau in 1969. It's believed that among the ships and aircraft, one can still find the remains of the deceased, and some parts of this place are even visible above the water surface, reminding us of the scale of the events and the price paid in the name of history. But okay, a ship, but there are cases in history when tens of thousands of people end up underwater. The historic city of Baiae was a sort of ancient Monte Carlo for the ultra-rich of Rome. Rome. It symbolized luxury and abundance, but over time, much of it submerged underwater due to volcanic activity that shifted the coastline inland. However, 1,700 years after Baiae was swallowed by the waves, we can again see this ancient city thanks to stunning photographs. Incredibly, parts of the buildings and architectural details have survived almost 2 millennia. In the photos, a diver shows a mosaic floor in a ruined building. Roads, walls, mosaics, and even statues have survived, creating an astonishing panorama of the ancient world, embodying the richness and diversity of this ancient city. Baiae was considered one of the most important Roman cities. Notable figures such as Julius Caesar, Nero, Pompey the Great, Marius, and Emperor Hadrian visited it for relaxation. Now, the underwater ruins of the city lie in the Bay of Naples, 125 miles south of Rome and 38 miles north of Pompeii. In January 2014, a group of underwater archaeologists conducted research in a submerged sinkhole on the Yucatan Peninsula, which terrified locals. The exploration revealed a cave littered with long skulls and human bones. According to local legend, this mysterious cave is guarded by a creature with a snake's body and a horse's head. Researchers speculate that a terrible tragedy occurred in this cave in the past, claiming people's lives. These events likely passed down through generations for centuries, possibly forming the basis for legends and myths about the fearsome creature guarding the cave. During the exploration, the team discovered over a dozen human remains. No traces were found on the bones to indicate the cause of death, so it is presumed that these people were likely not sacrificed. Interestingly, the elongated skulls were flattened from birth, raising further questions about this deformation. There are even theories that these are the remains of those who gave their technology to the Mayan Indians. As I said, these are just some of the shocking finds waiting for us underwater. Thankfully, with the advancement of technology, we have more and more opportunities to conquer the unknown.